is Robin Quivers. Who was Robin Quivers, they might have asked? 5 years ago, 4 years ago, 3 years ago. 2 years ago, they really started to know. Last year, her book called Quivers, A Life, went right up into the bestseller list. Everybody knew who Robin is. And I go to the movie Thursday night, and I'm so stupid. And I'm saying, the girl who plays Robin is really good. And she looks like Robin, but much prettier. Boy, she looks like a great-looking Robin. And halfway through, I go, it's Robin. So Robin, success makes everybody just glow. And Robin came to visit me tonight, which is so great. And you're looking fabulous.
Why, thank you very much. I was telling somebody the other day, money will make you beautiful.
Yes. Success.
Money, success, whatever you can get, you put it on your face, it'll make you beautiful.
And it makes you great. And you have to and people do things for you.
Yes.
And they teach you to accent the good stuff.
Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely.
Right.
You get all the tips, and you make it work.
Yeah, and boy, you look wonderful.
Well, thank you very much. I said the supreme compliment from Joan Rivers. It's not about you were funny. If she tells you look good, you've really made it.
And in the movie, I mean, you really look like an actress.
Why, thank you. Now, that means more to me than anything.
Now,
because it was so difficult an undertaking to think that we would go from this immediate kind of performing where you do it and it's over to the kind of acting you have to do on film.
Which was now, what was the hardest, the first day? How many, what were the longest takes you had to take? How many takes was the longest that you ever did?
There was one time that I must have gone like 20 or 30. You know,
which scene?
I don't even remember which scene.
So I could go back and watch it.
That's right. Yes, she still didn't get it right. But I don't even remember what it was now, but I know I was devastated because I thought, oh my God, I'll never get this right. Because the more they have to do it, the more you think about what you're supposed to do and you can't do it.
Right.
And so I thought, I'm costing them all this money. They're going to throw me out. They're going to go get an actress to play me. But after a while, it started to become second nature.
Now, the biggest scenes are always, obviously, with Howard.
Yes.
Did you ever turn to him and say, you're not giving me what I need?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, come on,
because
Howard.
He has no memory. Oh. So there were times he needed to feed me a line and give me a cue, and every time he'd say the line, he'd say it differently.
Yes, so that leaves you just a little...
Yeah. And so your timing is off because you were expecting it this way and you expected to hear this word and he never says it. And finally I would scream at him, would you say it right? And he's like, I don't know what I'm doing. Which is typical.
Tell me about Thursday. I never saw anything like that in my life. 5,500 people watching a movie in the Paramount Theater in Madison Square Garden, and then a party afterwards in Madison Square Garden. Fans chanting.
Everywhere. It was amazing. In fact, I think that I stayed in a state of denial for most of the evening because you just can't take all of that in. I just said, this is not for us. This is, these people would have been here anyway. They just had nothing to do. So this was a nice warm place.
Who took you to the party? Did you have a date?
No, I decided to do it sans date. I actually just grabbed one of the guys who works with us to just go with me and be an escort because that's too crazy. I recently started dating somebody and you just don't want to.
That you really like?
Yeah, and you don't want to expose them to that. Yeah. No, he's not in the business, actually. I don't date in the business.
No, because it must, I don't know if it's better or it's not. If it's easier or harder to date in the business or out of the business, because it must be very hard for a man with, you're famous, you walk into a restaurant now, people are screaming, they're all going to recognize you on the street, I love you, I love you, I love you. Or
I have to tell you a great story. You remember once you fixed me up with somebody.
Yes, I
did your TV show, and you introduced me to this soap opera actor, and he took me out to dinner. He decided he really wanted to impress me. He takes me to the Water Club, great restaurant, and he had made the reservations and, put them under his name and the whole thing. And we go in and they say, oh, we don't have your reservation. I can't find his reservation.
Mr. Cool.
So now he's a little bit embarrassed. But they say, oh, well, it's not really crowded. We can seat you. And there's 3 different kinds of seating. There's the good seating near the window. There's the middle. And then there's the against the wall where you can't see anything. Yes. And so they put us in the middle.
All right.
And then just as they were seating us, the maitre d' recognized me. And he said, oh, Miss Quivers, I'm so sorry we didn't recognize you. Would you like a table near the window? And so the guy was just devastated. It was devastating. It was awful. It was awful.
Somebody's call ahead and say, I'm Joan Rivers. I'll be coming in with Mr. Schwartz.
Uh-huh.
And please make sure that you know the man's name, too.
Yes.
So at least they can say, hello, Miss Rivers, and you. Hello, hello Miss
Yes.
Rivers, and Mr. Schwartz.
Absolutely, because it does. It just takes that guy and rips the rug right from under him. He said, I can't believe they're moving our table because of you.
Isn't that great? Tell me about anything negative. You know, somebody said to me, oh, it's so difficult now for Howard and for Robin. All this adulation. I said, are you out of your mind?
Oh, yes, it's horrible being loved.
Is there any, because I don't see anything negative about being famous. You want to be quiet, go in your house and shut your door.
That's what I always say. When I see people who are famous out in a public place, covering their head and, you know, wearing a baseball cap and all of that, I'm like, well, then why do you do it?
Yes.
Stop making movies, stop doing TV, and then nobody will bother you.
You know, Sinatra once said to Roddy McDowell, they won't leave me alone. And Roddy said, take off your toupee, and you would just be a bald Italian man.
That's right.
They'll leave you alone.
Absolutely. And then when they get left alone, look, you know, who's upset?
Yeah.
The person who's sitting there going, what happened?
When was the first time you knew that you were famous? What was the first moment that it happened and you thought, oh, my life has changed?
Once I was walking down, one of the avenues in Manhattan, and this big tractor trailer screeched to a halt. And then the guy backed up the street the wrong way just to say hello to me.
Isn't that good?
And I thought, wow.
Something's happened.
This is fun, yes.
What about your family? How do they take over? Because the party was very interesting the other night. 1/3 of it were hookers and Joey Buttafuoco. You know what I'm saying? All the
I
lowlights.
always say that, you know, we bring all groups together.
Then there were rock stars.
Yes.
And then there were family people. So you either said, oh, my God, there's Joey.
Yes.
And there's somebody with no, you know, her breasts hanging out doing tassels.
Right.
Or rock stars. Or somebody saying, I'm so-and-so's mother, take a picture.
That's right,
That
yes.
was it.
In fact, I got into the strangest conversation. I was talking to Ben Stern and Marilyn Manson.
Yeah.
You know, the same conversation. It was very strange.
We have 1 minute. Someone said to me, what is your family like now? I mean, are they just, because I know in your book, which I read when it first came out and bought retail.
And then she ripped it up.
Ripped it up on the show and gave it to you. But your family was a lot of problems. And you got back together again. Can they treat you like you now, if you know what I'm saying?
No, I've become a star.
Yeah.
Even at home, they sort of treat me like a China doll.
Yeah.
You know, they don't really know what to make of all of this.
Who treats you, who can say to you, Robin, you're an idiot, Robin, you're wrong?
Well,
Robin,
all the guys I work with, they do that all the time.
Do you have your own agent?
Yes. Well, my agent and Howard's agent are the same guy, but he treats us so incredibly wonderfully, and he has total confidentiality between the two of us, and so everything's fine.
We're going to go to a break. When we come back, I want to know if there's anybody that's trying to break you up, because that's going to be the next step.
Okay.
Robin, you can do it on your own. We'll be back in 1 second, so stay tuned. It's Joan Rivers, and I'll be back, maybe.
You're listening to The Joan Rivers Show on Radio 710 WOR.
Okay, that music's not any better. We are talking.
You have a musical problem.
Yeah, I can see that's going to be the big thing. We'll get it right the day I'm fired.
Oh, boy.
We're talking with Robin Quivers, whose book is called Quivers, A Life, and it's in paperback if you can get it. But now that she and Howard are the biggest phenomena, I think. You know, they all came to scoff. That's what's so interesting. They came to see him fall on his face.
Great.
Yeah.
It has been great. Because you know what the press is usually like with us.
Oh.
I mean, there were only a few people who accepted us early on, and you were one of them.
Oh, please.
And I'm sure you took a lot of flack for it. People wondering, what were you up to?
I used to find myself, and I'm not, Dorothy knows this, I was always offending.
Yes.
Defending. And you want to say, don't you listen? Can't you hear how brilliant this show is? And what is the wrong with people that don't get it?
I don't know. I really haven't figured that all out yet, because in other ways they seem intelligent.
Yeah.
But they just don't, they get riled up and they can't let go of it.
And they can't laugh.
Yes.
See, that's what it all comes down to.
In fact, they'll say, well, why does he have to do that to be funny?
Yeah.
I was like, well, you do what you do, and if it's funny, it's funny.
And obviously it's working somewhere.
Yes. And then they always want to demean or degrade the audience. Well, those people.
Yeah,
but when you look around, it's everybody.
It's everybody.
Yeah.
That's what's so wonderful. When did you get together with him?
We got together back in 1981 when he was working in Washington. We actually came to Washington, D.C. at the same time to that little station in Washington.
But the same time, but not together.
No, we were hired from two different places, and sort of, it was kismet. I mean, I heard a tape of him, and that's the reason I took the job. I thought, my God, who is making that kind of radio? I've got to meet him. And he, right away, he always had it in his mind that he wanted a radio partner. And he wanted this group to work with.
But you need that. You need someone to bounce off. I sit here by myself, and you look in the control room, and maybe you see somebody going like,
yeah.
You can't even hear it.
Right.
And you need someone to bounce back and forth to know you're not alone.
Mm-hmm. And he was always looking for that, and he decided it was me from the very beginning. I had no idea. I was just a news person.
And were you going to be a news... Who did you want to be?
I wanted to be Barbara Walters.
Okay.
I was using radio as my stepping stone to television.
Right.
So this was a major detour. I couldn't believe what happened to me. But I'm so glad it did.
Oh, tell me how your life has changed.
Oh, my goodness.
Have you changed where you're living?
Everything. In fact, Joan Rivers, I modeled myself after you.
Good. Just live for the moment.
That's right. But I've been to your home, your lovely home, and so now I have a beautiful home with antiques.
Great.
So if Joan does it, I'm doing it.
Absolutely.
So I have a lovely apartment on the Upper East Side, and I love living in Manhattan, which is something I had never done before, because when we first came here, we all lived in Queens.
Yeah.
For goodness sake. That's all we could afford, and we used to take the subway to work. So things have really changed. I have a car that brings me to work now, and I can shop at Bergdorf's and do whatever I want.
And they take you into Betty in Bergdorf.
That's right.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Betty is the lady that, God forbid, you walk around Bergdorf's at Betty. That means you're on your way down.
That's right. Yes, it's over.
It's over. And Betty, you say, I need slacks. And she says, here's something charming, $4,000.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. The price tags are ridiculous.
Yeah. And she always says, I always say it's expensive, just me, not bad.
Yes, yeah. Oh, this is a real bargain.
And that's that. What's going to happen to you now? Are you going to make another movie?
I would love to do some more acting. First of all, I really, really enjoy the acting process. So I'd love to have the opportunity to play something other than myself in someone else's project.
All right, but what about now they took Howard's book, Private Parts, right? And it's become this huge movie. Okay, take your book. I'm sure a movie of the week has come up for you.
Well, we've talked about it, but I think I'm not ready to do
I could play
that
something.
I'm not quite ready to do that yet. I think I want to wait a little while.
Melissa and I can reenact anything you want.
Yes, absolutely. I know. Melissa, I saw her on the line at our premiere, and she says, well, I know it's very difficult to play yourself because I had to do it. So we were commiserating over what that's like. But I have done, there's a little section of my book that has to do with my relationship with my this girl I met through the Big Brothers Big Sisters program. Right. And I'd like to take that and create a feature out of it. That relationship between a professional woman and this young street girl, and how they change each other's lives. And
did she change you? Because you come from a mother that was very abusive to you, a father who was very rough on you, and yet you went ahead. You became first a nurse.
Yes.
Then you were in the Army, right?
Boy, did I have a circuitous route to get here.
The nice thing is, if anyone ever has a heart attack on your set, you can just jump right in.
Howard always says, well, Robin, would you know what to do? I said, I'll know he's down at this point. Those medical advances keep marching on.
How did you know that nursing wasn't for you? You finally got through nursing school.
Yeah.
It's so terrific. It's so wonderful. Then what? Then when do you say, I don't like this, too much blood?
No, it wasn't that. It was just that something about it wasn't fulfilling to me. I was doing it, and it was fun for a while. And then after we got into that sort of, well, this is what we do kind of phase, it was like very unrewarding. And I looked at people who were older and still doing it, and I thought, oh, God, please don't let that be me. Yeah. I just knew I couldn't do that for the rest of my life and be happy. So I started looking around for something else to do and finally found radio.
Are you happy now?
Oh, I'm ecstatic.
I'm so glad.
Yes, I have such a wonderful life. I have so many wonderful friends. I get to do things that when I was growing up, I certainly never dreamed that I get to do. So, I mean, and to have a partner like Howard to work with, it's just an incredible experience.
Have you ever had a big fight with him?
Oh, we've had huge knockdown, drag-outs, and we've broken up.
Besides the one time, I mean, like, really, they just say, that's it, just go to hell, I don't need this. Has ever been gotten to that point?
He said it to me. Because I was quite a pill. There was a point at which he just said, I can't take the abuse anymore, because I was really horrible. I was very hard on him. I had a lot of insecurities, and I never really believed that, this was a team and we were going to be together. And so I was always looking for those moments when I thought he was betraying me.
Yeah, and
so it was very tough.
And when did you finally realize, this is okay, he's not betraying me, it's fine?
The day he said, I can't take it anymore, it's over, let's go down the hall and break this up. I said, I think he's serious. I better get myself together.
What would you do if this did all go away? Because I have a book called Bouncing Back,
yes.
and I go through it now. It's up, it's down, my career is up and down. I always think, what's another avenue? If it all went away, because I would become, if I could get a nail girl and a masseuse on the set with me, I could go be an anthropologist. But I would need a nail girl and
That's
a
right, right away.
I'm not digging and rooting these nails.
Goodness. Well, I don't know.
Dorothy's saying we'll be right back.
Well, then I'll hold that thought.
Hold the thought. What we're going to find out when we come back, it's Joan Rivers, and I'm with Robin Quivers. We're going to find out what you would do if it all went away tomorrow.
The Joan Rivers Show on America's talk and information station.
Okay, it's Joan Rivers. I'm back talking with Robin Quivers, whose book is called Quivers of Life. And as you know, she's co-starring with Howard Stern in Private Parts, which I think is going to sweep the country. And I think it'll be doing just fine in Europe, too, because it's a funny movie if we never knew who any of you were.
That's what I thought after I saw it for the first time. I said, people can relate to this story. It's about a guy who had a dream and fought to make it come true.
And a geeky guy.
And he had a love with this woman that was incredible. And people can relate to that from either side.
Allison.
Plus Allison.
Plus Allison. Plus his
throw
wife.
her in there, too.
Tell me about your daily routine, because I walked in the studio this morning, and there you are after the big success, and we got up at 7. I got up at 6 to be there at 7.
Yeah.
And you guys are there, and you've already been doing it out. What?
Yes.
All right, so give me a day. Give me a day in the life of Robin.
When we're not working this hard, I usually get up at 3:30 in the morning.
3:30 in the morning. Okay, and do what?
And
take a shower then?
Yeah. Yeah, you sort of, because you have to wake yourself up and you have to wake up your voice. And so you get in the shower and do whatever you do in the morning.
Do you drink coffee?
I don't eat until I get to the studio.
Okay.
And I don't drink coffee.
Okay.
So, because, we've been doing this so long.
So you get to the studio at what time?
I get to the studio at 5. When I'm there in the morning, I start listening to the radio and putting things together in my mind and sort of going through what I pulled out of papers or periodicals from the day before. And then I go into the studio at 5 o'clock and start pulling things together. I have an AP machine, and I'll have the daily newspapers from the day. And I also have to do makeup now that we have the E-show.
Yeah, because they're on, for those who don't know, they're on, they tape every show. That's why I never take my sunglasses off.
I started to wear sunglasses in here tonight to do the same thing to you.
You're not going to see me at that hour in the morning on television. So you have to look good now on television?
Yeah. Yes. So I have to make sure that at least from the waist up, I look okay.
The old Hollywood Square syndrome.
That's right. And then we go on the air at 6 o'clock.
And you stay on the air until
10:30, 11.
Then what do you do? Do you have a meeting? Do you say, okay, I'm a big meeting about tomorrow? How much do you plan?
We don't do a lot of that. Mostly what I'd say we do is a debriefing. We talk about whatever we still have left over from the day, and we talk about some things that may be going on in the future guests, and some projects, anything that's coming up that may be major, like the Grammys, the Emmys, or the Academy Awards that we want to focus on. And then we sort of break up, because basically what we do is we all do our individual thing, and then we put it all together on the air in the morning.
And wait for the air to talk about it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, has there ever come a point where you've been too embarrassed? Was there ever a moment where you said, oh, God, I'm ashamed to be a part of this?
Oh, absolutely. The time they started talking about my colonics. because, I might try any wacky thing. And they discovered that I was doing colonic therapy. And that became a whole topic of discussion. And then everybody, the worst is when the callers, the people who listen to the show, start calling in to add on to whatever is being done. And then your friends hear this. You have to go out into the street and people are yelling things at you. So, yeah, some of those times are pretty embarrassing. But my attitude has become that if it makes good radio, then we'll do it.
Yeah, and it does. And it just makes them know you more and more and more and more. How were the colonics? Did you lose weight? Were you cleaned out?
Well, you do feel incredibly clean.
Aren't you embarrassed, though? When you have to lie down and because they come into the room.
They make you feel so comfortable.
You talk about a poor nurse's job.
Really. But, the woman who used to do my colonics was really into colonics. So it was very interesting. God, she's into this. She's looking at the tube and going, oh, you had, and she's telling me what I ate.
God. Oh, God. It's so awful.
So it was incredible. I was like, my goodness, what a way to make a living.
And did it make you lose weight? Do you still do it?
Yes, it did make me lose weight. I don't still do it. It was just sort of a thing I wanted to try for a while, and it was interesting, and now I'm over it.
How did you lose the weight? Because you've lost. Since I've known you, you've lost a lot of weight.
Yes, I've been working out, and of course I ride my horse every day.
You keep your horse also in the city with you?
Well, he was in the city for a while. He was at my apartment.
Did you name him Jay?
They said, what is that smell? But he's in New Jersey now. He's right across the bridge, so I can't get to him as often as I'd like when we're really, really busy, but I try to ride him about 3-4 times a week.
Which is great.
Yeah, and you need that because this is so incredibly crazy and heady. You need something that, the horse never knows that I've made a movie or that I'm on this radio show and people know me. He just treats me the same every day.
Dorothy's going, 1 minute?
Yeah.
We have to go to break. Just listen to Dorothy. We have to go to break. We'll be right back with Robin Quivers. This is Joan Rivers.
This is the Joan Rivers Show on Radio 710 WOR.
Okay, I'm back. I'm talking with Robin Quivers. The name of the book is Quivers Alike, Life or Alike. As you know, she's the co-hostess of the Howard Stern Show, and a man named Bobo from the heartlands of America.
Yes, but let's keep saying that we have a movie, Howard Stern's Private Parts. Opens Friday.
Oh, it hasn't opened yet.
No, that was the premiere. It opens Friday.
Let me tell you, anyone that if you have to pick 2 movies this year, Shine and Private Parts.
I'll take that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Shine is a wonderful movie.
Shine for drama and warmth and what life and soul is all about, and for laughs. Private, if you have to have one funny movie this year, to Woody Allen.
He's not that funny.
He's not that funny.
Unless he's stealing your daughter.
Melissa, get off of Daddy's lap. Or at least put your jeans back
on. There you go. For God's sake. Yeah, get dressed, for God's sake, if you're going to sit on Daddy's lap.
You're just embarrassing me. Now, Bobo wants to know, are you attracted to Howard? That has to happen, Robin, because when people are pushed into an atmosphere day after day, there have to be moments where you really look at each other and think, I've been on enough sets to know that.
Well, I love Howard. I can honestly say that, and I know he loves me. Is there a physical attraction?
Every once in a while.
I don't think so.
Never at one point there was a moment.
As close as we were ever going to come was on Thursday at the premiere when I realized how much we had been through together, and I just looked at him with such love and such respect. But, I always think of Allison immediately after that.
Oh, that bitch. She's not listening. Let me ask you, what was the lowest point the two of you had together?
NBC. When we were at NBC.
And that's when I was on the show. I had no idea.
Yes, and they were constantly hammering at us. We would be tortured for 2 hours, and then they'd say, now go be funny. They'd tell us we were worthless, we didn't belong there, we didn't deserve to be there, we had no talent. And then they say, now go on the air and be funny.
So what happened? Your contract was up. You were already #1. I bet you couldn't wait to get out of there. I mean,
actually, we were fired before our contract.
Fired?
Yeah, we wound up being fired because we just went to #1 and we decided that was the place to end the film. But we wound up, that's why we have a sequel. because they did fire us.
Wait, can you stay around? Because
Sure.
we're going to do a little news, and then we'll be right back. It's Joan Rivers. I'm talking with Robin Quivers, and we'll be right back.
On WOR, this is the Joan Rivers Show. Can we talk?
Hi, it's Joan Rivers. I'm talking to you tonight from New York City, and I'm talking with my good friend Robin Quivers, who is co-starring with Howard Stern in that wonderful new movie, Private Parts. And there's so many things I want to ask you. I want to start out, first of all, you get up, you told me one time, 3:30 in the morning.
Yes.
Right. And you go the whole day. That means you have to get to bed at what time?
Well, if I'm being very, very good, I should be in bed by 9.
All right, so now what is the studio social life?
Oh, you have none. I always say that my hours are incompatible with everyone. There is no person on earth who is doing things at the same time that I'm doing them. And so in order to have any kind of a social life at all, someone has to be very understanding.
Yeah, or crazy about you.
Well, that would be very understanding.
What about, like, now it's different. Now people understand, and it's a big thing. My brother takes out Robin Quivers. You know, it's a whole other thing.
Yeah.
He doesn't mind. They get to bed early. But in the old days, it must have been just hell on earth.
Oh,
to
yeah,
say to
I've
somebody,
had guys say to me, who wants to be with you? You're always busy, your hours are terrible, and you're not available to me. I have girls who'll do this or that, and they can, you know, I can call them up and say, let's go to Florida for the weekend, and they can go.
Yeah.
You can't.
Yeah, but now I want to ask you, but you're going out with somebody now, and you think it's really going to be serious?
I don't know.
Would you get engaged?
This is early. This is early.
What do you call early?
We've only been exploring this for a few weeks.
Are you playing the rules?
No, definitely not.
Oh, see,
I don't want that kind of guy, so I wouldn't play those rules.
You know, is he sending you flowers? You're still in the good stage?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah,
you know,
I
very,
missed
very
you.
appreciative. Yes, very.
After he takes you home, does he call you up afterwards and you still talk a lot to say?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. It's been very. I have had a wonderful month.
Okay. Very important.
Yes.
Very important. Tell me, let's go back to the Stern Show. You were telling us you were fired as #1 show. You were fired from NBC.
That's right. We didn't think it was possible. We had become very arrogant. We had another boss who had come in who wanted to mold us and change us again.
This is after the movie Private Parts.
Yes, after the end of the movie, there was another guy who came in. He decided he wanted to change us as well, even though we were #1.
Why would they want to be truly that stupid? If something is #1, why do they want to change it? It makes no sense.
They all have these ideas that they know better, and somehow or other, they have to put their stamp on every program that's on the air. You know, that was their attitude.
And they fired you?
And so we would walk out of meetings when they started saying silly things like, we want you to talk for 2.5 minutes and no more, and stuff like that. And then we just thought we were invincible because we had these ratings, and one day we walked in and they said, guess what? The show's over. And we were devastated at the time, but it turned out to be the best thing that ever happened to us.
From the time they said the show's over till you got your next show?
We were back on the air in a month.
In a month.
At K-Rock, where we are today. And we were hired by people who knew what we did, understood what we did, and wanted us to do it.
And left you alone.
Absolutely. And it's been wonderful.
And what happened to NBC? What happened to that time period? Did it ever recover?
Not only did that time period not recover, then we went on the air in the morning and beat their morning man. The station doesn't even exist anymore.
Isn't that great?
I mean, we're so ecstatic about that.
You can't carry a grudge, but it is very sweet.
Yeah, I mean, we weren't doing it on purpose, but we were very happy that, you know, the value of the station dropped through the floor.
Yes.
And when it was sold, they had to sell it in tandem with something else.
When you think, like, you've been together since 1981, what are some of the great moments? What are some of the moments you go, oh, God, that was a great, so-and-so was a great guest, or that was a great moment? Or
Oh, there have been so many. I mean, I think the first time that I realized it was a really wonderful show was we were still in Washington, and Princess Di was getting married, as a matter of fact, and we decided to pretend that we had gone to London to cover the wedding, and everybody believed we were there. And I thought, my God, what an incredible medium radio is. You can just tell anybody anything and make it sound true. And so that's when I first really started to enjoy performing on radio. And then when we started getting guests like you, and I'm telling you, you were one of the biggest stars at the time that had ever done our show.
Well, because all the rest were hookers.
That's true.
I would
you were right in there between two naked women.
I used to put tassels over my dress to fit it.
I thought that was very accommodating of you. Joan fits right in.
Look at this. She's trying. Who's come on now that you can't deal with? Is there anyone that has walked in that you just said, I cannot, this person, I can't deal with them. This is too much for me?
No one's like that. I mean, our show is really, we have 4 people in there wrangling you, so nobody gets totally out of control. The hardest person to control probably was Sam Kinison when he was alive.
Yeah. Oh, I love
that. Was a real wrestling match.
Yeah.
And he always, he's the only one who's ever almost taken control of the show.
And he was don't you wonder where he would be now?
Yes. Absolutely.
I sent some tapes of Sam's the other day, and I put them on the car. I was going with a friend, and you forget how brilliant.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
So funny.
Yeah.
He was born funny.
Yeah.
And he was just incredible on the air. And we always loved to see him come and hated to see him come.
Yes.
Because you never knew what was going to happen.
Who's disappointed you?
Robin Williams. Robin Williams, who is known for being able to riff and be ad-lib off the top of his head, was totally stunned by what we do. And he just sort of sat there and looked at us. And we thought, my goodness, Robin Williams can't keep up.
That's fascinating.
So it was very interesting.
Did he ever come back?
No, and then of course we got into that tiff. Howard said something about him marrying a nanny, and
which he did.
Yes, but he's been upset about it ever since. Well, it's not my fault. You married her.
Well, take the hat off her and let's go. She looks so motherly, bending over my child.
I think I'll marry her.
I think I'll marry this wonderful breast sticking into the crib. No, he married the nanny.
Yeah.
And what does that teach us? A life lesson. Pick a nanny, pick an ugly one.
There you go.
My mother always said.
Who doesn't know that?
Well, there's some stupid people that get those au pair girls in from France.
Absolutely. I see that going on.
And they think, I'm a little older my size.
She's such a sweet girl.
Oh, she's a 7-year-old girl. She doesn't know what she's doing. Oh, yeah.
She's so young.
She's sitting in a little room in the Hamptons knowing that you've got the big house.
That's right. So. That's right, yeah. She's got the little bippy top on and those Daisy Dukes.
I can make you happy. Here's a flower for you.
Ooh, Jenny.
And men are so stupid.
Yes. Oh,
she's so sweet.
She loves me for me. She thinks I'm wonderful.
What are you going to do now? I mean, after the movie, you're going to all just have to go back for a while. Oh, no, never mind that. When the movie was going on, give me a schedule. That must have been...
That was one of the hardest experiences we've ever had.
You shot it in New York?
Yes, we were shooting in New York, and we did the radio show the entire time we were working on the film. So we'd get off the air at 10 o'clock, be driven over to Queens because we worked over at the Silver Cup Studios, and we would be on set from 11 to about 8 at night, and then we'd do it again. And on the weekends, we worked on the set all day long. We'd do like a 12-hour day on the set, so we were working 7 days a week.
God. Incredible.
Yeah. I didn't think we would all make it. I thought it was going to be one of those Il Postino things where everybody who worked on the radio show died in memory of, a long list of people.
A lot of shots in the back of Robin's head.
That's it. They had to finish the film with a computer.
There's a movie called Elephant Walk, and Vivian Lee was in it in the beginning. She had a complete nervous breakdown. Elizabeth Taylor filled in, and you could see them gain and lose weight on the different shots. And every time it's on American movie classes, they go, oh, wow, big fat ass. It's Elizabeth. Skinny, skinny, skinny. It's Viv.
Yes.
That could have happened to you. What about your hair? Now, your hair is in these wonderful dreadlocks. Mm-hmm. How do you keep it clean?
Dorothy you wash it.
Well, I know, but you... No, but Whoopi has the same hair.
Yes.
Yeah, but you wash it, but you're not getting all the dirt out because it's still in a little
Of course you are.
No, because it's staying braided.
Do you wash your clothes? Your clothes stay sewn, don't they?
Yeah.
They don't come apart and you got every little thread. Don't be ridiculous. The water goes through.
I've been dying to ask you that. How long do you have to have it done? Every how many days?
Oh, no. This stays like this forever.
Never?
What do you mean? What
do you have to have it rebraided?
No. You just sort of twist the ends. It just stays this way.
So that's because it looks sensational.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. What are you going to do next? What are you going to do next with yourself? Because you look great. There's nothing. You're thin. Your breasts look good. Your face look great.
I think I'm going to have some sex. Now that I'm ready. I think that would be good.
Are you passionate or are you funny in bed?
I laugh.
Yeah, me too.
I'm afraid I laugh. And lots of people get very upset. But I can't help it. I want to have fun.
Who is the first love of your life? Is he out there? That dumped you?
First love? No, I did all the dumping.
There was never anybody that hurt you?
No. Well, it hurt to dump them. But I had to get rid of them, so.
Well, I just think you are. I'm so as I told you before off a radio mic, there's so few people I really genuinely am so happy to have success.
Well, thank you so much.
You are wonderful. And anyone that doesn't go and see Private Parts, you are a fool. And I don't care. I like Howard. I like Robin. I don't. It's the funniest movie to come out in 5 years.
I think that people who don't like us should really give this movie a try. I think you'll find a story there that you will find compelling. And funny.
And funny.
Yes, I think you'll get some good laughs.
Oh, I just think it's. I love you. I look forward to seeing you again back at your place.
Thank you so much for having me.
Go home and live a fantasy. Thank you. Well, we'll be right back. And that was Robin Quivers.
The Joan Rivers Show on America's talk and information station, Radio 710 WOR.